Hello everybody. I hope you're doing good this November. It's not December yet. I almost said December, but it's only November. Hi Beth. I slowly crawled back from the abyss of booster shot side effects. What I can tell you, I had the Moderna one, and what I can tell you is that it was kind of similar to the second dose, but at the same time different. Hi, Wendy. And what do I mean by that? It did not give me the slight fever that I had with the regular doses. Also, it was just half dose. Remember that we are not getting the full dose in the booster. But it made me way more tired. And not only that, it gave me... See, all my life I suffered a little bit of orthostatic blood pressure drops because all my life I had low blood pressure. Because of that, I have to drink about a pot of coffee a day to be able to function. But I didn't have that in years, and it did give me them again. So I had to be very careful when standing up, because a couple times I had to very fast lower myself to the floor. Hi J9. So it's November, winter is coming, and what does it mean for all of us? Well, it means that it's gonna be cold. I'll be honest with you. Here in Oklahoma, we had a weird fall. Normally in fall we don't have tornadic activity, but this October we had a lot. And I really don't know how the winter will be, if we are going to have any kind of storms. When it comes to creation, again, I'll be very honest with you. I'm still in that funk, and it's pretty much because of all everything that's going on in the world. I mean, it's nothing related to my health. It's not related to the weather. It's not related to anything, but everything that's going on. And I don't know, sometimes I do the woe betide me thing. Because you know that Chinese curse, and may you live in interesting times. It's like all my life I lived in interesting times, and I cannot get rid of interesting times. But you know, I always say these too shall pass. Hi Kitty. I just love that nickname. Anyway, what does it mean for us? What the whole situation means for us clayers and artists and crafters? Number one, we have issues with what we need, because it's not as bad as last year, but still the disruption of the supply chain does affect us, and that is awesome, Beth. And I honestly see some increase in prices at one point. We haven't seen that yet, but the other thing that I can tell you, I don't really have a solution that I could find yet, but I am thinking about it. And no, for the moment it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing and everything, but the thing is that everybody's talking about global warming and solutions to deal with it, and pollution and what the plastics are doing for the environment. And the thing is that polymer clay is plastic. I mean, it's PVC. So, but on the other hand, there's not much stuff that you can craft with, and I'm talking about quality artistic crafting that is made of something that would not be a pollutant and won't have any kind of effect on on the environment. So the thing that I am doing right now is to try and reduce my carbon footprint as much as I can. I'm kind of really upset that I cannot do much when it comes to my heating and cooling needs, because unfortunately, due to the chemo that I had, I have no idea why it affected me like that, and due to my thyroid issues that I've been having since like 2003. It was first hyper, and then once I had it killed with radioactive iodine, I became hypo. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that because of that, my internal thermostat is completely messed up. And in what sense? I have a very, very narrow, comfortable temperature span, and that would be pretty much 72 to 73 degrees. I mean, that's that 1 degree. Anything that's below 72, I start shivering. Anything that's above 73, I have the feeling that I'm going to faint because I'm so hot. So, as I said, it's really, really impossible for me to do anything when it comes to lowering my carbon footprint by, economizing electricity and gas when it comes to cooling and heating the house. So I am quite upset about that. And but I'm trying to do everything else that I can less damaging to the environment, if you want. I'm not sure. I'm going to try again coming spring to see if I cannot at least pot grow some vegetables again, because I used to have a beautiful, beautiful cottage garden, and I was growing all kinds of vegetables, fruit, herbs, flowers, of course. And I'm going to try and give you an idea about it all. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not, because obviously it's a matter of if my health will allow me to. Okay. I am going to show you a few photos of my former garden. There we go. This is right in front of the bow window that Finnegan loves to sit on. And here I had some strawberries, lilies, and you can see some 2-liter Coke bottles upside down stuck into the ground, because that's how I used to, whenever I would transplant veggies outside, I would cover them like this for 2 reasons. One, would be so they wouldn't get cold at night. And two, we have a lot of pill bugs and earwigs in our area, so the moment I would bring something out, they would be so happy chewing on it. So that's a strawberry patch. So yeah, it was a very nice garden, but starting like 2017 I wasn't able to do much anymore. Let me go further to show you and put my poor whisper. But as you can see, it was a real delight to be out there, and I had a lot of night blooming flowers, so even at night it was beautiful. I had blackberries, raspberries, elderberries, let me see, a lot of 4 o'clocks of all colors, all possible colors. And there we go. I had decorative sunflowers, and the pergola was for cucumbers and morning glories, and I had cosmoses and all that. But it is a lot of work, so after a while in 2017 I realized that I cannot really do that anymore. And yes, I had a flower bed. Somebody in my neighborhood left a baby bed at the curb, so I said, let me just bring the pond to life. So it had verbena, flowering tobacco, and all kinds of other things. And these were black tomatoes, black cherry tomatoes, and peppers. I had pole beans. There were all kinds of things. That's white eggplant. So yeah, I had a ton of stuff happening in my garden. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna still be able to do that. So I'll try to do I have quite a bit of pots in the front yard, so I'm going to try, and I still have a few in the backyard. Yeah, I had night blooming jasmine, but I had to plant it every year because it wouldn't live here. I still have a lot of roses, and I had a full collection of morning glories of all kinds of colors, including yellow and red. Your miniature morning glories. But the ones of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you can go in my photos and look in my photo albums, and you can see the evolution of my cottage garden. And I was growing. I was part of a group of international group of gardeners, so we would just exchange seeds from various areas of the world. So everything that I was growing in my backyard and partially in my front yard was heirloom. And I used to also make my own pesto. I was growing several kinds of basil so I could get differently flavored pestos. I mean, I had the lettuce basil as a base because there's a lot of leaf in a lettuce basil. And then I had some that was made with lemon basil, some that was made with glow basil, which is spicy, all kinds of variations. But I don't know, I'm going to have to do that again. And this time I'm going to do like I was doing the last time that I was still able to work in the garden. There's a thing that you can do to save some on watering. You just get paper, cardboard from the boxes that you order stuff in, and things like that, and you make little cones that can be stuck together. I was just putting some duct tape there, so the cones go like this, and you put them at the bottom of the plant right above the soil, but the cones, you cover them with aluminum foil. And what happens, because the aluminum foil still stays cool, I mean, even if it is in the sun, it is covered by the leaves of the plant, and because it stays cool, any moisture that's in the air is going to condensate on that cone, and it's going to drip at the base of the plant. And if you want to know, I got this idea from Dune, from the book Dune. But anyway, I don't know, as I said, I don't know if I'm going to still be able to do anything like that, because when I realized that my health wasn't allowing me to do much gardening anymore, I moved pretty much everything that was perennial in the front yard, and I made a huge flower bed like that, and it's all soaking hoses, so I don't have to stand up and water. And that is pretty much it. I still have in the backyard a couple hazelnuts bushes, some elderberry bushes, and some strawberries, and of course the roses. I mean, the roses are still alive and kicking. I need to trim them now this fall. They need rejuvenating, so I'm gonna have to be very, very harsh on them, because I want flowers next year. But let's get to polymer clay. Okay, I discovered, and let me show you, I discovered a online store that is called From the Heart Supplies. I have no idea who they are, just showed up in one of my searches. And I am not super, even if I'm not super enthusiastic on other ones of their polymer clay supplies, because it's mostly 3D printed, and honestly, for me, 3D printed 3D printed cutters don't work very good, because you cannot really make them very sharp, and with my hands being the way they are, I cannot press hard enough to make a nice clean cut. So I would still have to go with my X-Acto knife and keep going around. So cutters or just simply templates is the same thing for me. But what they do have, they have beautiful, beautiful silk screens. And something I haven't seen in other stores, at least in the US. So if you want to give them a look, there's a good thing to do if you want to check them out. Hi, Chris. So going back to the polymer clay, I've seen quite a bit of tutorials out, and I wanted to talk about that. Number one, because I was asked about what do you think of this tutorial or this tutorial or this tutorial for beginners? Well, Number one, you have to be very, very circumspect about YouTube channels that have a super huge following, because YouTube channels that have a super huge following, they are more interested in the following and in the views, because that's how they make money, than interested in conveying proper information. And guys say, oh, you're so mean and this is so bad and this is no, you're just envious. No, I'm not envious. I don't work for yeah, I don't know who DJ Crafts is. I'm not working for getting more subscribers. I don't intend to be famous, because my health doesn't allow me to take care of a channel. I mean, you've all seen how much slower I became in uploading stuff and in all that, because I just cannot do it anymore. So I'm not interested in getting extra subscribers, extra this and extra that. No, I just want to live my life happily. But I'm still interested in getting good advice and appropriate advice. So, as a general idea, when you go looking for advice like which brand of clay is the best, I want to do something very quickly, don't go for the channels that have like hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers. And I guess one of the main channels that types that you kind of need to stay away from are channels like 5-minute crafts, because okay, let me make a short interruption here. When it comes to crafting and to artistry, you will have, as you can get them into 3 different types of channels. Okay, one would be the type of channel that wants to be viral, wants as many subscribers as it can get, it wants as many views as it can get, because this is how they make their money. The second type, and in that I include the ones who are doing reviews for commissions and all that kind of stuff, because that is how they make their money. The second kind of a channel will be the type of channel, and this can maybe divided in 2 kinds, but I'm gonna just put them all together, is the type of channel that is practically all a big commercial, and it's either an artist selling their creation or an artist slash crafter who started their own store line of supplies for that specific art or craft, and sometimes you can get all of them as I said, these two subcategories together. And the third type of arts slash crafts channel are the ones that are made with a primary goal in mind to teach people. This is not to say that this third type of channel will never show you something that they might sell, or something that they made, a creation that they want to sell, or tutorials that have to be paid for. But there's a thing in these type of channels, you would have at most, and that's at the most, like a quarter of the videos on that channel dedicated to selling, and the rest dedicated to teaching and conveying information about that. Yes, you will find reviews on these ones, but they are not reviews that are destined to sell a specific thing. They are just that, reviews. And it's easy to see because those reviews are not going to be 100% positive. Well, unless the artist slash crafter is very, very pleased with that product. But generally speaking, on these type of channels, you will have very little selling. And of course, they do need to do a little bit of selling, because to have this kind of channel, any kind of YouTube channel that has a good following, costs money, and there's not a lot of people nowadays who are very financially comfortable and just do this kind of stuff out of their good heart. Most of the educational channels, they started by putting out a lot of the in the beginning, using their own money, their own. Just think about this. Just to pay, I know that in other countries it might be cheap, but just to have a computer that is good enough to make good quality videos, to have good video equipment, to have a good editing program, and to have a good internet speed, that all costs money. And you will see that, and honestly, what I have noticed, maybe 80% of the creators in this category are retired or close to retirement, or disabled, so they do not have a lot of money to play with. So to get back to the very beginning, if you want really good information about any craft, any art, be careful what channel you're looking at. And you can observe, you can kind of sample their videos and see what they are talking about. And if you find at most the rate of 3/4 of the videos are educational, 1/4 is selling you something, that's a channel good for you. And the other thing that I know I am guilty of that too, the other thing is that one thing that you will notice when it's somebody who's out there mostly to provide information and to help others, they will pretty much very rarely, or sometimes even forget to say, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give me thumbs up, don't forget to, because, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything against people who do that, because everybody has to make a living, everybody needs to eat, everybody needs to have a roof above their heads. But the first type of channel that I was talking about, the viral channels, those have a pure entertainment value. The second type of channel have some entertainment value and have some educational value, but not entirely. They are still good to watch, but you have to be, I mean, I'm not saying they are not educational. I'm not saying that they don't present to you mostly good products, but you kind of don't want to be led down a path where if you want to craft something or create something, you have to use only whatever that artist slash crafter slash company is selling. So go for the channel that has that, I told you, 3/4 at the end of quarter at most ratio in their videos, and the channel that will show you all kinds of brands, all kinds of types, all kinds of various effects. And even if it might make you feel guilty from time to time to give them a couple bucks, because what you have to think, these creators, these artists, these crafters, yeah, they would receive money from people to be able to buy a certain product and test it and put it out for everybody to see. But the moment they do that, you know if it's worth or not to go ahead and spend your money on that product. And I did that myself. I mean, don't think that I never give small contributions, because I cannot afford more. But I'd rather give one of these artists, $5, and then later down the road not spend $20 on something, and after I get it and try, like, darn it, So yeah, go for this kind of channels if you want to learn the best. Another question I got was, you said you were going to post the Labradorite thing. Yeah, I said I had some unexpected stuff happening Monday when I was going to finish it and post it, and then Tuesday I had to take my booster shot, and then I was dead for the world. Another question that I got, why aren't you so active on Facebook anymore? Because of everything that's been going on with Facebook. I mean, yeah, I still would go there and I would still post a few funnies, especially on my personal page. And I would still get a little bit of interaction, but as much as I'm trying to not make this political in any way, but I personally do not agree with what Facebook does, and I do not want to encourage them. And even before that, there was another reason why I kind of stopped posting so much on the Kalyana Facebook page, and it pertains strictly to the poor quality of thank you, Beth, the poor quality of Facebook, because after it happened at least a dozen times, because what happens with Facebook, you know that I'm trying to put out good quality videos and with clarity, and I want them to be HD and all that. And even I have a few videos that are 4K. And it is extremely frustrating for me when I am spending so many hours to edit a video and then I'm waiting for 2, 3, 4 hours to have it rendered at top quality. I upload it on Facebook and it's 720. So, and there is no way to get my videos to good quality. So why bother? You know, at this point, why bother? Sorry, I'm trying. I had Finnegan on the table earlier today. I found him on the table. And I guess he played some with the keyboard. And I keep finding little Finnegan hairs. So that would be another one. Then I got a question if I can talk again about what I'm using for my videos. And I know I talked about that before, but I'm gonna go through it again because I know with my monthly chats it's kind of hard to find something because I have so many subjects. Maybe I should try and go back and kind of separate them into chapters. But if you go on my Amazon influencer store, and I'm going to post the link to it again. Give me just a second here. Yes, that is true, Chris, and that is like in school. Some people know how to teach and some people don't. That is the truth. Okay, so if you go in my Amazon influencer store, and you'll see, and as I told you, I'm spending several hours every week on trying to keep it updated. There's actually 2 different sections, one with equipment and materials that can be used to make videos, and another one with what I use. Okay, let me try the other one. I'll find the other one. That's the general video tutorials equipment. And these are various things that some of them I tested, but there are some that I couldn't afford and I didn't buy yet, so I cannot vouch for. While here in what I use, everything has been tested. Unfortunately, some of them are not there anymore, or I just had to find an equivalent. Because, for example, the desktop I have has been kind of changed. I mean, it's like 10 years old, but like 90% of what's inside has been replaced with something newer. And the same goes for the laptop. But you can still find, and this is what I suggest the most, would be the C930 Logitech webcam, and then you will need a stand for it. And I have shown this before. Let me show you again. But this is what it looks like, and because of the way it is, this is the camera, and because of the way it is, you can lower it, you can do all kinds of stuff with it, and you can have it set exactly where and show exactly what you want it to show. Then I do have a small power shot. I don't think you can find it anymore. In this other list I showed several, but they are expensive, the other Canons. And then I tried several kinds of, that are listed here, of microphones, and unfortunately the only one that I was happy with was this AT2020, which is a cardioid, and it's a really good thing because it's got a background noise reducer and everything. And then yes, I do use my phone from time to time, and there are several. This specific thing for the phone can be put on this kind of holder, but then there are others like this one. I have it in my kitchen. That's a flexible gooseneck. For the microphone, there's a special type of holder as well. Then, and I showed before, I do have a tutorial on how to work with GIMP. Let me actually try and find. And I'm going to post the link on it. Now, what is GIMP? Let me get you the link. Thank you, Kitty. So this is where I showed you the GIMP. Some people pronounce it GIMP. Is something that is similar to Photoshop. Let me go play it faster. And I showed here, there's a tutorial on how to work if you don't have a very good camera to take photos. And I explained how to enhance your photos if you need to post them online to sell stuff. And I think here is where I showed the differences between one photo and the other. Now, there's a, here it shows that you have to pay for it, but trust me, if you go download it, it's free. It's not a paid for thing. Then here it also shows $2, but Audacity by itself is free, and you can edit music with it. Now, the first editing program that I used, it's a little bit easier to use. Of course, you can always try the Movie Maker, and I suggest that you try one of the older movie makers, like the 6 works much better than the new one, because the new one is also not free. There's a lot of things that you cannot do with the Movie Maker, and also the quality of the output. Then the first one, and actually you can get these downloads only. This one is not available, I guess, anymore. They have only the suite. Well, but what I'm using now is the movie edit, not the movie studio, the Magics. And it also can be bought online, and it's cheaper to buy it online. You don't really need the premium, you can just get the classic, but as I said, it has a little bit of a more a steeper curve to learn how to edit. And one of these days I will make a excuse me, a short tutorial. All right, let's get back to our thing. Hi Sarah, hi Anna. And then I get a whole bunch of and and I promise to make one. I did talk about this several times, and hopefully I will be able to at one point to put together a tutorial on this. I get questions also about how can I make my own, how can I be successful, make my own tutorial channel, and how can I be successful. Hi Amy. Well, number one, and I would still recommend, let me see if I can find it, because I know there's an article on my blog, but that one doesn't talk about channel. That one talks only about selling, making stuff to sell. If you give me just a second, I should be able to find it. The main thing is, yeah, this one is about how to design your jewelry. It's a okay, I'm not in the proper thing. There we go. I was in the back, not in the front. Oh, come on. It's the name of the article is How to Design Your Jewelry. And because Blogger makes it, so if you search directly how to design your jewelry, you will find it. And in there I explain a lot, hi Amy, how to be the most successful when trying to sell your stuff. And it is, some of the things there are very are common to making a successful channel. First of all, you need to identify your niche. And oh, shut up. Seamus has something very important to tell me. Shh. Shoo. And it is, number one, do you want to make something that will be more viral, or do you want to present? Again, make sure that you define which of the three types of channels you want to be in. What you need to keep in mind is that no matter which of the three types you're going to choose, you will need a lot of time and commitment, because unfortunately, if you don't post almost at least a couple times a week, your stuff will not be brought up in searches. This is how YouTube algorithm works. And if you look at the most successful channels, the ones that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions and stuff, those post at least once a day. And the way that they are able to do that is that, yeah, they started small, but as they started growing and they started getting money, they were able to hire people, and there you have a whole team working, not just one person. So that would be one thing to keep in mind. The second thing to keep in mind is that you need to define your niche. And that is, do you want to go for younger people? Do you want to go for older people? Do you want to, which of the you need to establish kind of like an age range. You need to establish in crafting, it doesn't really matter much about the gender, but also social segment, Bye, Adelaide. See you tomorrow. And things like that. Then you need to establish your interest. And in some of these things, some of the subjects that come into crafting, polymer clay, yes, that is true, because when those channels do not go for viral, they go for instruction material, so they are not crazy about being promoted all the time. And again, going back to what I was saying, identify your subject, and that is, you want to work with polymer clay? Do you want to work with resin? Do you want to work jewelry? Do you want to work beads? Do you want to work wire wrapping? If you start with one of those, unless you do want to go for a viral thing like the 5-minute crafts thing, don't start veering into others. I mean, don't try to show polymer clay and beading and resin and that and that and that, because people are kind of niched and they go looking for one thing, and if they subscribe to you and you post 1, 2, 3, 4 videos about the thing that they are interested in, and then you start posting about other stuff, not only they will not watch your videos, even if it shows in their new from your subscriptions list, but they might even unsubscribe, and that kind of brings your channel status lower, and your videos will not be shown. Now, there are some channels that are very successful, even if they have a mixed, like let's take Susan, turtle beads, turtle soup beads. But she started with polymer clay plus beads plus optional resin. So she was like that from the start. But other channels who started with polymer clay then switched to resin, and then from time to time I'm not saying that they are not successful, but they don't get as much following and as many views as they could. Now, as I said, with polymer clay, it's not so much, but there are other areas of the craft that are way more peculiar about that. Like, let me see, let's take the ribbon craft, for example. There are channels, because it's a craft that a lot of people love, and a lot of people love to try to make, and a lot of people love to watch being made. There are channels that deal in all kinds of stuff made with ribbons, and they are okay, successful, okay, but then you have channels that do only flowers out of ribbons, and those grow few, because the way that it works, if you have a channel that's got all kinds of stuff in it, and you have people when they search about the craft, they don't, generally speaking, they don't search in general terms, because if somebody wants to, there are more people who are trying to find specific information than people who are trying to find general information. I mean, even a beginner, if they type polymer clay, they're gonna get inundated with videos, and even polymer clay tutorial with videos, especially from the viral channels that sculpt all kinds of stuff from various games and movies. So if you are an actual polymer clay channel with tutorials or an artist channel with stuff, your views are so low compared to those viral channels that probably the first time one of your videos will be brought up will be like on the 20th page. Or let's say that you have somebody who is looking for polymer clay earrings, right? Let's say they go polymer clay earrings tutorial, and on your channel you show polymer clay, you show resin, you show how to make earrings, you show how to make pendants, you all kinds of stuff, and you have that in the description of the channel. And just to be on the safe side, because I've seen this mistake happening with a lot of channels videos, and they're like, why am I not growing? Just to be on the safe side, because there are certain terms in the Google/YouTube search that are more common than others. Like, for example, as I just mentioned, polymer clay earrings is like in the top 10 strings of polymer clay searches. And I've seen a lot, or polymer clay for gemstone, or gemstone imitation polymer clay. And I've seen a lot of people, a lot of creators who are trying to trick the YouTube algorithm. So they would put in the tags, in the keywords of their video, even if their video is about how to make a resin bracelet, right? But they do have in the description of their channel, and some of their videos might show polymer clay and polymer clay earrings specifically. But because they try to trick the YouTube algorithm, they do a resin bracelet tutorial, and then in the keywords, in the tags of their video, that tells YouTube, you know, in what type of searches to bring that video, they will put polymer clay tutorial, polymer clay earrings, gemstone imitation techniques, stuff like that, because those are first in the search strings. And then what happens when the results are brought up? Somebody's looking for polymer clay earrings, and guess what shows up in the list of what they are searching? A resin bracelet tutorial. Now, the person who's looking to make polymer clay earrings, are they going to pay any kind of attention? No. So there's a lost opportunity. And the other thing that I was asked is, but if I try to make myself too narrowly niched, won't I lose a lot of opportunity? Let me put it this way. At the latest, let's actually check the latest number. Okay. Right now, oh please. Right now there are 1.86 billion viewers on YouTube. So this is the latest information. Now you can say, out of those 1.86 billion viewers, most likely only 10% of that, if that, but let's say you are a US person, 10% of that are from the US. So you're gonna get move a decimal, you're gonna get 186 million people who are from the US. Let's slash that to half, because honestly there's more women crafters than men. So out of 186 million, you have 93 million left. Now let's say that you want to focus, let's take my case. I want to focus on people who are 45 plus or even 50 plus. Hi Saskia. So that would be, let's say, and I'm going lower than I should, because normally it would be like 1/3, but let's say 1/4 of 93 million. Now 1/4 of 93 million is 24 million people. Now let's say that out of those 24 million people, 1%, and again I'm being kind of going down, 1% are interested in arts and crafts. So we are talking of all the YouTube viewers, but generally people interested in arts and crafts, they are way more. They are actually, let's be more honest, and they're like 10%. So we go down to 2.3, right? 2.3 million people, of which, let's say, 10% are interested strictly in polymer clay. And again, I put all these numbers at the lowest possible. So you still end up with 230,000 people that you can attract on your video and to become your subscribers. Out of all of the other ones remaining, if you make catchy videos with catchy thumbnails, with catchy titles, you'll get at least another 1% of all that 1.86 billion. So even if you are this narrowed, niched, you'll still get enough people. And then another question is, well, how can I make money? Because with the way that I'm doing my highly bebul, comment ça va? The way that I'm making my videos, it's not attracting many people. It's not, I mean, my niche is very, very small. And let me tell you something. I know channels that have over 1 million subscribers, and they might hit, and let's say not 1 million, but like 500,000 subscribers, and they might hit $1,000 a month in ad revenue. And I know channels that have anywhere between 10 and 15,000 subscribers that can clear up to 3 figures a month, but they are not ad revenue based, they are affiliate based. And that means that they are so good that some of the manufacturers slash suppliers in the branch decided that they are a good face for their business. So because they are so good in their craft slash art, because they have done so much research, because they can tell people exactly what is the best thing to buy to do this or this or this or this. Like, for example, one of the creators that I know, and I'm not going to tell any name, I'm just going to say that he is specialized in miniature, not necessarily dioramas, but dioramas as well. Hi, Sing. But you know, miniature landscapes and dioramas and stuff like that. Another one is specialized in miniature trains. And again, they have one of them, the trains guy is actually right now, is, give me just a second, he is at 9,800 subscribers, but he makes about 80 grand a month, just because he's affiliated with a couple manufacturers, 2 or 3 auction houses, I'm not entirely sure. So when we are talking about collectibles, when we are talking about something, you can make money, but your main thing is to be good at what you're doing. That's the main thing. So if you want to be successful, there are a ton of strategies to be successful, but they all are based on commitment and lots of work and learning as it goes. Because one thing that I can tell you, even since and I'm not talking since YouTube started, I'm talking about since I started back in 2017. Since I started till now, so it's been 4 years, YouTube algorithm changed like a dozen times. So every time you need to change the way you're doing things, and you need to learn them. So if you want to be a YouTube creator, make sure that you, especially in the beginning, you devote at least 1 day per week to learn things. And then, of course, the question, where can I learn things? There's a lot of places where you can learn things. One of the main things would be, I probably should write an article about that. One of the main things that's very, very useful is the Creators Academy channel on YouTube, and you can actually join the creators group and you can learn more things. I mean, there's a ton of people who, this is what their channel is about, teaching people how to make a successful channel on YouTube. And they all started small, and it's true, now they are viral and they make millions, but they all worked hard. Some of them almost gave up, because you probably heard that it can be very, very stressing to be a successful YouTuber if you want to keep up. But don't think, the other thing that I have to tell you, unless you are planning on doing something like 5 minutes crafts, do not plan on making huge money from YouTube, because it's not YouTube that's going to make you the big money. Your main thing should be exactly, Liberville, that's exactly it. So your main thing that you need to be worried about is to, even if you don't have a lot of money, to start with good, very good quality videos. That comes in time if your content is good. And to give you, I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but everybody says that the first 100 subscribers are the hardest to get, and it is quite true. But it took me, let me see, and my first videos were horrible in quality, and you heard me talking about it, that I had an old, okay, so I reached 100 subscribers after my 18th video. So I started on May 4th. Remember, May the 4th be with you. And I reached 100 subscribers on May 23rd. So that was, and then in time, and if you go back and look on my channel, if you click on 100, or if you hit on videos, and then you can select filter by oldest, you can see, if you've never watched, if you're a newer subscriber and you've never watched my very first videos, you'll see that the quality was horrible. I didn't have good light. I didn't have I had an old table lamp, you know, with the gooseneck thingy, but that had a light as well. But it also had this humongous magnifying glass. It was actually a jewelry lamp. The problem was that you could not remove that magnifying glass. So because in the very beginning I had a tripod for photography, and my web camera, like that one that I showed, it was actually an C920. That's not such a good quality, and I hung it with wires. I had the tripod on my table and the web camera was hanging with wires. And then I got that gooseneck lamp. I found that Goodwill. I think I paid like $4 for it, but you couldn't remove that big, so I could barely see what I was doing, because remember, I did not have I was starting to get cataracts and I couldn't see well at the time, so anything that was farther than this far from my face I couldn't see. And then it took a while until I was able to actually purchase a good editing software and all that. So if what you're putting out is interesting enough, people will come even if you don't have the best of equipment. And especially nowadays when you have phones, smartphones, it's much easier to make videos than it was even 10 years ago. I mean, yeah, I did have other YouTube channels before that, but they were never something that I was planning on making money of. They were just for fun. Like I had a channel with my gaming stuff. I had another channel that was about low carb, high fat, but I would just post every once in a while about that, and I didn't really care about the quality. The first time that I wanted to do a channel that I would keep on doing stuff on was in 2017, when I did and then I had a couple other educational channels, but those were private. I mean, all the videos that I was posting were for a private group. But anyway, that's the main thing that you need to keep in mind. If what you're showing people is interesting, people will get over the fact that the quality is not very good than over the fact that it's a good quality video but the subject is uninteresting. So this is very, very, very important. So no matter what you decide when it comes to the subject, the niche, the type of channel, the whatever, you have to be aware of the fact that you will have to work. And the first 3 months are the hardest. That's when you have to come up daily with something, make yourself a little list with subjects. Another thing that is to keep in mind, when like 4 years ago, because of the way the algorithm was, your best bet was to have videos that were 30 minutes or more. Now the best videos are the ones that are around 20 minutes, because people, as we go in time to technology going up, people are losing their patience. So Before it was if you didn't show them something in the first 20 seconds. Now if you don't show them something interesting in the first 6 to 8 seconds. So it's very, very, very important. Another thing that I recommend you to know what your if you did a good thing would be to get, there's an add-on that's for Firefox, that's for Chrome, that's for all kinds of stuff, that's called Keywords Everywhere. And what does that one do? Let's see. Let's try. Oh, I'm trying to find a Nixameti. Okay, let's get Alina's tutorial. And look what Keywords Everywhere is going to show me here. Number one, all the keywords she showed. And you can notice here that there are some of them that are not exactly good. The other thing is that her optimization score is 84 out of 100. What does bring her down? She didn't, number one, there I've seen a lot of people, a lot of creators that hide their like and dislike. That is bringing down their algorithm score with YouTube. If you do not show your like and dislike, then YouTube completely doesn't consider it, and it brings down your score. So because she doesn't have like and dislike, she doesn't really have an engagement score either. So her approval score on this video is 0, engagement score is 0. Now let's see the optimization score overall. So we have 2 points deducted from the video length. Why? Because it's only 8 minutes. As I said, around 20 minutes is the optimal. And then the other is total tag characters. It's because she's got a little bit too many. Your best total tag characters is between 300 to at most 325. So because she's using too many, and some of them are not very good. Like, I don't know if she speaks Russian, but she put Polymernaya in one tag and Glina the other tag. So it would be like putting polymer in one tag, one word, and clay in the other word. So, and then masterclass refers to all kinds of stuff. So don't get me wrong, I love what Alina does. She does, some of her stuff is absolutely fabulous, but that's a minus on the way that she did set up the video. So again, try to get yourself this add-on, the Keywords Everywhere, because it works wonders when you set up your video. So I guess it's almost, I've been up for way longer than an hour, and I hope to see you tomorrow. We're gonna start talking about fall stuff because it's right before Thanksgiving, and we'll do things, I promise. We'll do autumn stuff, especially for Thanksgiving. You know that I like to show you at least how to make at least one nice decoration for the Thanksgiving dinner. And I think I might show it to you tomorrow, because there's not a lot of time till Thanksgiving. Let's see, when is Thanksgiving? It is on the 18th, so we only have 12 days, because it's the third Thursday, right? It's not the last Thursday, it's the third Thursday. Let me check, because I've been in my house for so long without talking to people. And I think I said before, no, it's Thursday, November 25th. Fourth Thursday. I don't know, I remembered third Thursday. But it's, I think I said before, but I don't celebrate Thanksgiving because for two reasons. One of them is that if you're not thankful for what you have for the whole year, what good will do one day? And second, because I don't want to celebrate genocide. Okay? So, but that's a political thing, it's my view, so I'll still tell you happy Thanksgiving, I'll still rejoice with you, I just don't celebrate it. That's it. Okay, you have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday, and I will see you all tomorrow, as usual, at 12:30 Central Time, and don't forget we change back to regular time from daylight savings. We change tonight. Okay? So see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Have a wonderful Saturday.